Hello, John.
Hello, Oliver.
And today we're going to talk about small businesses in Ireland and the lack of support.
Correct. Small businesses in Ireland, and the funny thing abroad as well, in most countries, but in this country, small businesses employing 10 people, maybe 40, 50 people, maybe only two or three people, provide 90% of the employment, if not, maybe not too far off that. Civil servants are another breed, but it's small businesses to supply employment more than any other group. And that includes shopkeepers, and it includes tradespeople that might have, that would be training apprentices. It includes it includes a lot of Irish companies. But there's a one group that gets absolutely no support from the government. If they were foreign and perhaps had a different appearance as regards their colour, they'd be getting plenty of help. It's much the same in some ways to look at it in another little aspect. A lot of our brothers and sisters, Catholics and Christians, have come on hard times and bad times in England, because a lot of them were living only in bedsitters and places like that, and suffered discrimination in that country, but they lived in it all their life. And some of them then fell in hard times, and a lot of charitable organisations are looking after them and getting them fixed up in sheltered accommodation. I remember being there on holidays some years ago and near Fulham, and going past somewhere and looking in and seeing, and there was an Irishman in a room, an older man, and here he was bent over a little little skittery thing on the floor to try and probably boil an egg, and then maybe something else, only one little ring. Pathetic. Now, this government and previous governments have seen fit to be able to provide all sorts of facilities for asylum seekers and people coming from other jurisdictions. But the one group that they haven't supplied that for is our Irish people that fell in hard times in the UK, and only for the charitable organisations there that's looking after them, they would be in very poor way. I've seen programmes about it. Funny enough, but not on RTE, on other programmes. Wait and hear. They have not been brought back by the government and put into hotels and put into accommodation, like in Mosney, where I was on holidays years ago. It's full now of asylum seekers for the past number of years. It's no longer a holiday camp as it was, where you could go for and have a nice apartment and all the entertainment and facilities that you could wish for. Marvellous. And a lot of people availed that didn't go abroad. Now, it's all for the last number of years, a good few years, with asylum seekers, and some of them will not move even though they were invited to go into accommodation. They're too happy down there. So we live in a very strange country, and what I'm saying is that small businesses, it's the same treatment that they're getting. They're getting no treatment. They have to fork out their taxes. There's no such thing as any much help for them. There's an Enterprise Ireland, but they don't get much help from the like of that either. So, and they're the ones that's paying tax, and that to get demands for tax before any of these big multinationals who have been fined by the EU because they evaded tax, like Apple, fined billions. Ireland expected to collect it and then distribute it to the countries where they weren't paying tax because they were paying it here.
So Ireland becomes a tax collector for Europe.
Well, yeah, exactly. So this is the sort of way that you're treated by this crowd. Of course, they're getting the chance of getting good jobs over there in the EU and commissioners and all the rest of it. So they put out all sorts of abuse from that organisation. We've no right to be in it in the first place because they inflict. Your courts have no jurisdiction. But the governments, they're going to benefit a bit because they can get jobs there when they've already bled the country dry here, as they have done. They've bled it dry, they've bled the family businesses dry because they did such things as to allow supermarket monopolies to be in every town and every decent town, and planked up where there was family businesses, and those have had to close. How many family businesses now are we left? Damn all, because for example, there was a drapery store in Kells. Now it's closed, but when I was talking to that man, I bought a few items in it because I always try to buy stuff in those stores. And he did a business, but his family wasn't interested. It was a nice drapery store. It's not a drapery store now. But he told me that a traveller, I think, come from damn near Donegal, wherever it was, and there's no drapery stores in umpteen towns, but it was often 2 or 3 catering for that's drapery stores. How many family businesses is there? You have Central Superbuyer, which is owned by business, but you not get your products into those stores. You will, they're Irish, but you still have to sort of do a deal with their head offices, and unless the product is kind of pretty good and or unique or something, you have a hard chance of getting it in. But you can have a chance with supervisors, but they're not independent. An independent store is where you can go in and he's able to make a decision to buy your product if it's a food product. But they're getting few and far between, and their turnover is not what it was even when I was in dealing in business and dealing with family stores. When I was on my own there, when I retired in the 2004 or 2006. Now, so here we are with the family businesses, taxed to the hilt, and given the employment. Now a lot of them is still not reopened because they had to close down with all this lockdown. And it's very hard to know what way they're going to operate. The pubs now, they're talking about social distance, but you can't be in a pub and have a conversation with somebody down there. So you're going to be shouting. So everybody is shouting, so nobody will hear them. So this is what this crowd is at. They got this power of being able to coach people and tell people what to do and keep 2 feet, 2 meters apart. That's over 2 yards, and wear a mask, or maybe a hood. So that's a very poor outlook for businesses, and have people now I think so indoctrinated that they're damn near someone who's afraid to go out. I've been in a supermarket there in the past week. I was surprised at the number of ones in their 30s going around with masks on them, and I remember saying to the cashier, I never thought I'd see the like of it. Here's me without a mask, I'm supposed to be at risk. They're going around with masks, and I swear to know, because I know 2 out of 3 people in this country voted for a bar. You know, it's one of the only countries that had a referendum. 2 out of 3 voted for abortion. That means killing babies. And there they are going around afraid that they'll meet the maker. So it's a very strange thing that this government is so obsessed with safeguarding adults, and not a bit obsessed. The same as I said earlier, this independent TD, or that socialist lady that I spoke about, anxious about abortion, and here they're in this lockdown business, or not lockdown, whatever lockdown, isolated. They're so anxious to save their own lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's a contradiction, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, the small businesses is the lifeblood of the country, and by goodness, if some of them decide that it's not worth the candle because of the treatment that they have received, and now the sort of difficulties placed in their way, they might just decide to call it a day.
That's
and
it.
perhaps maybe go somewhere else.
Well, a lot of small businesses have, because of the coronavirus, they're gone. For example, a small business that's been in Ireland for about 30 years is the Northside People. And there was a Northside People and you had the Southside People. That's a little business that's now gone.
Is it?
Yes, gone now. Altogether gone.
Well, they were providing a grand service
They were.
because you get a bit of an idea of what was going on. They were local.
They were local, and the thing about their weakness was that they depended purely on advertising for small businesses.
Correct.
See, and again, there was no businesses advertising, so they couldn't.
They couldn't just stay open, and then the fact that when it's finished, those small businesses won't be doing the turnover, that advertising might be nearly a waste of money.
Yeah, I mean, the Northside Southside people they were small, and they maintained themselves for 30 years, and then finally the coronavirus ended it all.
They were good.
They were, yeah.
Yeah, because I often used to read them because you got an idea of what was going on. They had a bit of news in it. And then you had another one in Wicklow that I knew, the Wicklow Times, which I think was a free paper. Yeah, free paper. The North Wicklow Times, and a free paper, but they depended on advertisement. I wonder, are they gone?
Mm-hmm.
Because they did great work, and I can see independent stations being in trouble.
Yeah. Independent everything.
Well, you see, this is where we're coming. So, as I was saying, that up to 90% of employment is with small businesses.
Yeah.
You see, where's your food business? Don't we needn't be talking about, say, Kerry Co-op, which is a multinational, or some of these other ones. There was an awful lot of great companies went to the wall. I'm thinking of Capquin's Chickens. I'm thinking of Castleman Chickens. A whole heap of ones that get great employment going for years, but because this government and previous government squeezed the private sector and having these multiples, they were bringing in stuff abroad. They weren't bothered dealing with the producers. They was producing good stuff here, and under great conditions. Capquin Chickens employed over 200 people. I know them. I was often in the place.
Okay.
Because I supplied them with goods. That's how I know. So what I'm saying is that the policies that they pursued, and councillors given permission for the German discount stores to be in every small town like Virginia in County Cavan, and affecting the independent stores that was operating there very good. And even in Belmullet, one of them is open there, which was the one town in Ireland that still had family businesses, because it was so far to go to supply. One of the German discount stores is open there, and I'm sure family businesses have been affected badly because people go where they can get stuff much cheaper.
Well, do you know what? Speaking about stuff and cheaper and convenience and the whole lot, there was a little shop that was trading in Chapel Lizard. It's a little newsagents, and there's a post office inside it as well. And across the road you have Spar. And I've noticed now that the little shop on the corner has closed down. The post office is still there, so the doors of the shop are still open. But the little shop itself is gone. They couldn't compete against, other Littles and Spars. Right. And Spar is now South African, and
that's right.
So something I suppose needs to be done.
And by the way, Spar is South Africa, but also so is Mace. Which is another one, and there was a crew called MNC that I used to deal with, which was Merchants National Co-op, and they supplied smaller stores. There's my Uncle Joe and my Aunt Josie. They had a small shop in Holt. Well, she worked in Cleary's, and she used to come, when she come home from Cleary's, used to work in the shop until half.
They look very happy.
Oh, happy as Larry. He reared a family, and they all got a good education, secondary school education, and some of them university, paid for, out of that small shop.
Oh, well.
And he had a grocery shop, and he had sweets and everything and ice cream. But it was a small shop, and gave credit to customers. And very well known in Holt, County Dublin. And there they are, and I mean, you couldn't sort of say they were miserable, but there's none of them left.
Yeah.
Now they're gone to their maker, but there would have been people like that in shops.
Yeah.
And you could go in, and I'm a bit sharp, I picked you up at the weekend. You might even be getting your groceries there for a month and pay them then at the end of the month.
You won't get that in Lidl.
Well, you get none of these, but you see, this is what they did, and it's self-evident that a lot of the food is coming in from abroad. Lidl and Aldi make out that they're buying Irish stuff. Perhaps they are buying some, but nothing like what they're doing. Most of the stuff comes in. The docks are full of them, full of lorries and trailers and all the rest of it coming in. So their supply chain and now is going to be affected. And they're even talking about that there could be a problem with shortages in Britain because of it. We might be going back like what the Russians were years ago in Russia, when they were going, because of the communists, the way they ran things into the ground, there was queues for the basic foodstuffs.
That's it.
Even for sugar and that. So this is the danger with what they've done. They've destroyed the local businesses. They've ridiculed them. They've ridiculed the Catholic faith that was the bedrock of the country and given it a social coherence. We had no crime. We had none of this trouble that we have now. So it's the same thing. The same thing applies. There's a wake-up call, but I don't see this government waking up. As I said earlier, I don't see them lasting. They haven't got the experience that you have if you've been in business in this country or your life as I've been.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Albert.